Why shoot videos in your home office that look like this, when your videos can look like this? In this video, I'm helping my friend set up his normal home office into a YouTube studio to create videos for his small business. Whether you're shooting with an iPhone or a camera, you can apply the tips we'll share in this video to make your home office videos look good. So stick around. Alright guys, so I'm actually sitting in the finished setup, and in a moment we're going to start from the beginning and show you how we set every single thing up to make it look like this. Noah is probably in the same position as a lot of you guys. You guys are entrepreneurs, you have a small business, and you want to make YouTube videos or Instagram videos, and you have a space like this in your home office, but you just don't know where to start. You know that you want to make a nice set where you'll stand out from the rest. And so in this video, we're going to show you how you can do something like this. And it is going to take a little bit of money. So Noah has invested in lighting, in audio, and he did invest in a really nice camera and a lens. If you just have your phone and you have like a $300 budget or so, I always tell people invest in the lighting and the audio first, because when you do invest in that camera later, you can use the same lighting and audio. An iPhone with good lighting and good audio is always going to look better than any professional camera with bad lighting and bad audio. And so guys, don't worry, at the end we'll show you how this setup looks with a phone as well. Whenever I step into a room, the first thing that I ask myself is, where is the light coming from, the natural light, and then also, how can I create the most depth in my shot? We blacked out the windows so that we can control all the lighting. And so if you're gonna be doing something like this, where you have your own artificial lighting, it is good to black out the curtains, because then the settings, everything will stay the same. You could just sit down and shoot, turn on the lights and shoot, and everything will look the same every single time. But if you guys are gonna be using only natural lighting, make sure to check out a video I made on how to use window light in your videos. It's gonna be linked below. So now to jump to the second question, which is how do we create the most depth in the shot? Right, Noah wants to shoot at his desk. And it's a good decision too, because it looks, you can use it as a prop. It looks professional, it looks cool to sit at a desk. The desk was actually all the way up against this wall. And the problem with that, and what I see a lot of people do, a big mistake a lot of people do in shooting videos, is they go all the way right up against the wall. And what does that do? It makes it flat. It makes it two-dimensional, right? And so the shot doesn't look cool. It doesn't look interesting. So watch. I'm simply just gonna back up away from the wall. Look at that. The room looks bigger. The background looks a little bit blurry, right? And the room, there's depth in it. Now it looks more interesting. So after that, the next thing you want to do now is start setting up your lighting. And in every lighting kit, you're always going to have and need a key light. The key light basically is just your brightest light on the set, and it's the one that lights up your talent, right? Lights up you, lights up your subject. The light that Noah's actually using is the Godox SL60 that he invested in. And this is a really great beginner light, because it's about 130 bucks, and in a small room, the output of that is perfect, right? It's plenty bright enough. The next thing you're gonna need, right, is something to diffuse it. You can't just use the light by itself, because it's gonna look really bad. It's gonna look like if the sun is just shining straight on your face. It's not gonna look flattering. This is a Parabolic Soft Box. What this does is, first of all, it's gonna expand the light, right? It's gonna change the shape of the light. When you buy a light like the Godox SL60, it's just a very narrow light. What that does is it harshens the light, it makes it harder, it makes it less flattering. Now the light isn't really the Godox anymore. The light is this. Narrow light, it's gonna look harsh. Wider light is gonna look soft. Another important thing is the position of the light, right? We place this just as close to the desk as possible to where it's not in the shot of the camera. And just generally, guys, the closer you are to your light source, the softer it's gonna look. So guys, when you have your own artificial lighting, you always wanna turn off your house lights. So we're gonna go ahead and turn those off real quick. And then now we're gonna turn on the key light, and then we'll show you what that looks like just with the key light. A lot of beginners will place the light directly in front of them, creating a flat, evenly lit look. You might prefer this, but I suggest placing the light 30 to 45 degrees to the side of your face that is furthest away from the camera. This is another way of creating depth, because one side of your face is lit up and then drops off into shadow on the other side. The contrast between light and dark gives it a cinematic look. So another way that you can create depth is by color contrast, right? So since we have our key light is a daylight balance light, we can try and add other lights at different color temperatures. So what we're gonna do is, Noah has a cool accent light, but what it does is that it adds a little more interest in the background, right? So now it's not just this light. Now we're adding, now we're separating him from the background even more. So you guys can stop there. You can stop with an accent light on the back, but we want to do one more thing to add even a lot more interest, to make the shot even cooler, even more cinematic. So what we have here is another RGB light, right? We have a stand with a boom arm, and what we're gonna do is, what this is gonna do is it's gonna light up the back of his head, and this is what we call basically a hair light, right? Because it's lighting up the hair. So what that does is that it even adds more depth, because now you're separating yourself even more from the background, and you're adding that color contrast, right? You have a white light, now you have a colorful light. The last thing we're gonna go over today is the audio, because audio is 50% of your video, guys. Don't forget that. If you have awesome lighting, awesome visuals, but you have terrible audio, no one's gonna stick around to watch it because it sounds so bad. Right, so what Noah invested in is a Shure USB or XLR mic. It's pretty much like a podcast mic. So if you guys want a solution like this, you want to have that like podcast vibe, this would be a good option. There are 3 other audio options that you can go with. The first is a wireless system like the Rode Wireless Goes. The second is attaching a lav to your clothing and then directly into the camera. And 3, booming a shotgun microphone overhead and just out of frame. You can't go wrong with any of these, but I prefer the Rode Wireless Goes. To learn why, watch a full video on them up here in the card or with the link down in the description. Alright guys, so that's the setup that we have here. Again, this is something that you guys can actually easily do if you just have the right equipment and using the right techniques, right? So at minimum, if you want to set up like this, you're going to need the key light, you're going to need a light stand for that, and a diffuser for the light. And then you're going to need a tripod for your camera or your phone, and then some type of audio solution, whatever that's going to be. When you save up the money, when you figure out what you want to do, you can invest in other lighting like this, you can invest in a better camera and lens, and then you're just going to upgrade as you go. Alright guys, if you find this video helpful, please leave a like, a comment, and a sub. We're going to be putting out even more videos like this to help you guys make better content. So guys, stick around, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.